What is going on, everybody? Let's do a live stream. Let's do a little farming today. Snow Runner, I don't know. I like it, but it feels like the maps are just getting harder and harder. Every time they release a DLC, it's getting a little bit, yeah. All right. Let's see if this works. Fingers crossed, as always. And we fade it right in there. Beautiful. And then we turn this off. Turn this off. I think we're good. All right, so let me see. Where do we want to start today? I went ahead and I kept working on the fertilizing of the 3 fields that we bought last episode. And I learned something. I'm always learning something in this game. I learned something. So if we go to, I want to say field 23. Yep, field 23. Look at this. We're going to put field grass in, right? And we need 215. We're at 207. 97, 97.5, we're at 98.5, 292, and we're at 290. So I'm comfortable saying, I think I have this figured out. It makes sense now. But it's not to say everything goes smoothly, because we look over here at field 11, and we go to spring barley right here, right? So for nitrogen, we want to be at 215, we're at 199. But I made one pass on this field with potassium. I'll show you in a second. I made one pass with potassium, and we started at 130. We wanted to be at 292, so that's an increase of approximately 160 kilograms per hectare. I made one pass, and instead of being at 292, we were at like 190, 195. And I thought, well, we didn't get enough on there. That's about half of what we wanted. So I turned around and made another pass the other direction. And this is what I learned. So when you make a pass, a single pass in a field this size, so one pass is approximately, I'd say, a little bit less than half of this field. The number didn't go up to where we needed it to go up to because we'd only covered half the field, or a little bit less than half. So this number represents an average of the entire field. You can't hover over and get a level per row, per length, right? So I sort of did myself a disservice there. But I immediately figured out what the problem was. So from now on, anytime we make a pass in a field, we need to almost ignore what this value becomes until we've covered the entire field. But that also means we really need to be aware of our math ahead of time. So if we look back at field 23, I'm feeling really good about the calculations we came up with. We are just about spot on in every category. So that is what I learned. And then, of course, you compare that to our 3 fields that we experimented with last year. I say experimented with because I've made such a catastrophe of them. But look at these. This is a nightmare. Look at this one. Oh, what is happening? Yep. That we did not do well on those fields. That's living and learning. So we sold all of these because the chemistry is so torn up right now. I don't think anything good is going to come of that anytime soon. So we got some new fields, and we'll go from there. I bought this tractor. We're still leasing the spreader, and what else are we leasing? Oh, that's it. That's all we have on lease right now, and the combine harvester and the header. But I took them back down to the store. So we bought this tractor, and then we also, I can show you here. It's a little bit easier. You know what? I get that stick drift, and as soon as I open a menu, my guy starts walking, and he is walking into things. If we go here, I took a tip from, I don't remember who it was, Liam maybe, but I took a tip, and we bought 13,000 of 2010-10 and 13,000 of K60. I do think this is most of what we've been using for fertilizer so far, and I think it will continue to be that way. So I went ahead and brought this up here in the trailer and got it into the barn. So now we have it there. We don't have to drive back to the co-op if we want to get even like just 1,000 kilos to top off a field. We have it right here. We can save a lot of trips and a lot of fuel. And we still have 18,000 liters of barley to sell. I want to say that's worth about 10 grand at current prices. And it may go up a little bit more. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, if we go back here, you saw we had field 11 and field 23 have potassium on them. Field 12 does not. So what we're going to do is, yeah, we're at 129. We need to be at 292. So this will be a single pass in each direction of K60, the way that we have the spreader set up right now. And that'll take us to, it should be right about 290. So we're going to get Asta started on the MB track, right? And then you and I are going to hop in the new class that we got, and we're going to get some K60 on these fields. Sorry, trying to do 3 things at once. Concentrating. So, Asta. And there is that. Yep. This is going to be a little bit different. I haven't done anything. Oh, no, we did do this. We did do this in a... it didn't really work out, but we did get her started before we had to kind of re-up. And I think we had a game crash as well. I'm going to put her in the MB track with the weight on the front. And then on the back, I said on the back, there we go, the zircon, and then behind that, the sapphire. And that can be, it was 11, 12, and 20. Let's start her in field 23. Oh, that's nice. It only gives you an option of the ones that you already own. Okay. Select destination after field work. Go back to the farm, I'd say, when you're done. And we don't have an option for headland. Fill type from tank. I don't think we can do that. Can we go down to the co-op? Nope. Buy fill type. There we go. Field grass seed. Okay. And then action after task. Keep vehicle combo. So she is going to use this rig right here to put grass seed in field 23. Then after she's done, go back to the farm, keep the vehicle combination, and we're going to start that immediately. Okay, let's see. All right, so we did have everything in the barn, in the shed there, and now it is sort of magically in place. I'm okay with that. I like the idea that the AI does drive, right? And they don't just, the tasks don't just become done. There's a process where you can see the AI moving around, but I'm okay if they, you know what I mean? If they kind of fudge a little bit. Oh, and we're still fighting with this cursor. I don't know that I need to see the AI faffing about trying to get things hooked up in the shed, right? Get them all configured properly. And we need to get this started. Brake is off. And we're going to... we can drive around this way. We just make a big loop here. We need to get K60 in here. And with having it at the farm now, with having it in the barn, I'm more comfortable just putting as much as we can hold in here. And then afterwards we can bring back what we didn't use. And hang on. Can we open this thing? Oh yeah, and then we can see the pipe a little better. There we go. Fill type is not supported. Set the brake, and we want from, is it right? Come on. There we go. K60, we're going to load it. Yep. So that is going in there. Hey, Declan, the AI are good at sewing? Good, good. I'm curious if, I know like in the tutorials, if you were working on a field at a certain point, it would say you've done enough and you can just hit the skip button and it would fill it out all the way to the edges. So I'm curious to see after Asta gets done, if the field is like absolutely, you know what I mean, all the way out to every corner, farm sim style, or if there are any gaps. All right, and brake is off. I will confirm that this is all set up as it was, because I swapped it over, or I swapped it over off camera. I was using this spreader on the MB track, and I've moved it over to this new class. Now, if we run out of money, there are a couple things we can do. One thing we can do is borrow some. I would rather not do that. We can sell the barley that we have. That's 10 grand. I'd rather wait for the price to go up, unless it is at a historical high right now and the price is going to go down. But we'll see. I would like to hang on to that and try to get a great price for it. So we can sell that for a little bit of money. We can also, honestly, we can sell this tractor, and it could be that at this point in our career mode, I could have leased this tractor and it would have been no problem. You know, we didn't necessarily need to buy it yet, but I just kind of wanted to. Yeah, I saw that. Where did I see that? Might have been in a tutorial, or it might have been earlier on in career mode. And something else that I noticed, if you leave all your settings the same, and this isn't really something you need to notice. Oh, the sliding. Stop sliding. If we turn this on now, everything is more or less lined up to... Oh, that did reset. Oh, because we're in a new tractor. Okay, so this was 4,200, and it reset to 2,400. But somebody told me we can do that. Yep. So that saves... I've been asking for click and hold to put those values in. We can just type them in. You'll hear a little click-clack from my incredibly loud keyboard. However, we don't even need this because we have tire tracks, as long as our spreader is set to 42 meters. And we will confirm that it is. That's 275, and that is 42. Yep, as long as our spreader is still set where it was, we can just drive on our own tire tracks, and this will take this right back to where we were when we were spreading nitrogen, or 20-10-10. I guess it was a straight nitrogen. And where's our worker? Are they on the other side? 23. Yeah, that's 23 over there. Okay. All right. So we'll turn that on. And here we go. And I do have potassium selected down in the corner in the mini-map, so as we're spreading this potassium, we will see the color alter down there. And we are getting that sort of pukey green, but not the orange from one field over when we sort of burned that up. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if that will, because I am unrealistic, I wonder if setting it to something else will eliminate some of that drifting that the tractors do. They really tend to kind of glide on the lugs. Now, I'm told that they will slide that way on wet pavement, but not on dry pavement with no trailer behind. That's not typical. But either way, I feel like the direction the game is heading in right now, and how well it's working, I've got no complaints at all. I downloaded Firefighting Simulator yesterday. And I've been waiting for that for a long time. I thought Firefighting Simulator was going to be... I mean, I didn't think it would be like Forza, but in the tech demo and some of the earlier stuff that they had, it made it look like you really could do quite a bit with the equipment, specifically with the fire trucks. Now, as much as I love big trucks in Truck Simulator and tractors, right? Who doesn't love fire trucks? So I really thought we would be able to... perhaps I misunderstood, but I was under the impression that there would be a lot more customization. Maybe you could apply a specific color scheme for your local fire department, right? Add different things, and that's sort of not the case. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make is Firefighting Simulator, I think it could be, I mean, it might not be a great game. It might not be Age of Empires. or Resident Evil, it's not going to be a game for the ages, but I think it could be a solid title. But it's not there yet. And even though it did hit full retail yesterday, it's still very much early access. This game, Cattle and Crops, that we're in right now, I thought just the opposite. I followed it through early access, and I thought when it hit full retail, it would still be early access, and instead it is very much a fully realized game. And if you were just buying this for the first time, if you had not heard anything about it, and not known about the Kickstarter and the history and the drama and everything else, if you just bought this game and dropped into it, I imagine most people would look at this and say, well, this is just a video game. You know, it doesn't need any qualification. It doesn't need any disclaimer. It's a game. It's done. It's ready to play. I know it will be improved, but I have no complaints about it at the moment. So we are, yep, our potassium is going on okay. There is first person when you're in the vehicles, but that's not great. The fire trucks look a lot better in the demo. They look a little bit Minecraft in the actual version, and they handle. I mean, it's got video game handling. They don't have any physics to them at all. You can't go first person, but there's no reason to. And there's definitely no first person when you get to a fire. But I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I got it on sale. It was $20 US. I wouldn't say that I'm disappointed, but it's not quite there yet. And there's also, I thought it was going to be a lot more gear intensive. And the thing that I really like about Ubisoft games is the gear. Oh, you know what? We've been trying to go a lot more first person, a lot more in-cap. The thing that I both love and hate about Ubisoft games is the gear. And I'm a big fan of Division 2. And it is it's too loot based. There's the amount of loot. There's too much loot. And even the rare pieces, they really don't do anything. They're no different than the pieces you have. So you just end up in this endless hunt for names, really, because the characteristics that piece of loot that you're after has, they're no different than what you've already got. Really, it's just the name. It's the trophy aspect of it, right? I want it, and I'm gonna go get it. Or the literal backpack trophies, the little dangles you can get for your backpack. They do absolutely nothing for you. But I have put hours into getting specific backpack trophies for no reason. It just feels good to get them. But I am a gear whore. I have no problem admitting that. And I really thought that we would be able to... I thought we'd be like a for-profit fire department. Right? If that makes sense. I thought we would be putting out fires to make money to buy gear. Right? Call of Duty style. And that's not the case. Our gear is, or at least in its current iteration, the gear in Firefighting Simulator is you get what you get. So I wouldn't say that I was disappointed, but it's not what I was expecting. It's not bad. It's just not what I was expecting. Yeah, I would prefer first person. I really struggle with the AI. I was fighting a fire, 2-story fire. Fire had spread from downstairs to upstairs. Me and the squad, me and the fam, we got the fire out downstairs. I brought them all out in the yard and pointed to the fire on the roof and said, guys, see all that fire? We're firefighters, right? It's in the name. See that fire? Fight it. And they were like, you got it, boss. Then I went and hopped in the snorkel truck and lifted that up and was spraying down onto the fire from above. And I looked down and they're all just standing in the backyard. So it seems like there's no default mode for them, or at least not yet. But when they're done doing what it is you told them to do, they had put the fire out on the front of the house, and that's where I had set them up. And then they just stopped. Yeah. I would... I put them on furlough. Right? You're laid off. You're at a fire. The house is on fire. You've got a hose. Just because you put out that fire doesn't mean you stop putting out fire altogether. Yeah, it's the same thing happened when I didn't even try to go multi. I guess they did a hotfix midday yesterday because the multiplayer was so broken, but I was getting put into multiplayer that I did not want to be put into. I'm not necessarily a people person. I tend to play simulators in video games in a very serious way, whereas other people, how do I want to say this? When other people play video games, they enjoy themselves. They just have fun. And here's me, like, treating it like it's a damn job. So I accidentally got hooked up with a squad, and a guy was just spraying me in the face with a carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. And so I left. I restarted the game, and when I came back, it kept putting me on his squad over and over. So I finally had to, like, I don't know, I went and had tacos. That's my thing. I've never played Fortnite or Rust or anything, those types of lobbies, but I know, like in Division 2, when you squad up before you begin a mission, there's always that, you can tell they're well, I don't want to name any acronyms, right? I don't want to do that because that's, you know, there are people that are struggling with things. I'm OCD. I've got the kind of OCD I can make jokes about, but there are some people that have OCD you can't make jokes about it. It's really miserable for them. So I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to make jokes about a possible mental health issue. But when I see somebody running in circles in the 30 seconds before we start a mission, I think this may be a person who struggles with impulse control. And if they start shooting me in the face while we're waiting, there's no friendly fire in Division 2. So if somebody starts shooting me in the face, I know to them they're just clowning because they're playing a video game. But for me, that is, I'll immediately leave that group. I tend to play more seriously. So even in a firefighting simulator, right? I don't necessarily want to be sprayed with even a fake fire extinguisher. All right, so we can come off cruise control now, and let's. Oh, you know what? I did not turn this off when we got done with the row. I saw it just in time, just in time. So if we go down here now, let's take a look at field 12 and see how we did. Field grass, we want to be at 215, we're at 209, we want to be at 97, we're at 99, we want to be at 292, we're at 293. You know what? I think we figured out fertilizer. But as we were getting ready to come back up this row, I did not turn off the spreader, the broadcast spreader, and we would have scorched the whole side of this right here, and possibly over here as well. So I'm glad I saw that when we did. Yep, we didn't do any damage. Okay, so we need to dump this out, and I think what we may do, because Asta with a 3-meter sower, a 3-meter drill, I think Asta is going to be working over there for quite a while. So let's go ahead and, we can't really do a whole lot with this wee class because we don't have a lot of horsepower. I don't think there is any way to get grass in the ground with this class. So we may lease a tractor. You know what I'd like to use is that great big, well, we can't use the Corn King because that's corn. But I think there may be a big hammer that we can use. There might be. Let's take a look. But if we have to lease either the big Klaas or the Deutzfahr, let's go ahead and get a big tractor. Yeah, I've been stalling about that. I need to do that off camera. I need to, if nothing else, I need to put guided steering on the hotbar, because that's the one I make it into a clown show by just trying to drive from one length to the other without turning the steering off, and it keeps snapping, you know? So, I need to do that. I need to be a good professional strimmer. But I did get my soundboard going, so I need to fill that out. Alright, so we're right over here. I'm also curious how many seasons it will take for those fields that we broke to sort of repair themselves. Now, this ain't farm sim, so I don't think anything is going to grow in those fields. I think we may be sort of locked into that chemistry forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever. Until we put crops in there that deplete the excess of fertilizer that we added, and then we can bring it back up to appropriate levels. But I think for now, those fields are just going to stay all messed up. And I feel bad about that. But what can we do? And we want to unload K60. You know what we could do? Since we have the equipment, we own the zircon and we own the sapphire. You know what we could do is just put grass. Oh, we don't own them anymore. We don't. Idiot. Hang on. We don't own those fields. I was thinking we could just put grass in them to deplete the fertilizer and get it back to like good levels, but we'd have to buy them again, and we've only got 14 grand. Yeah. I wouldn't say that I've made a mess of this first year, but I've certainly complicated things unnecessarily. All right. So now, what we can do is let's bring this. This will disappear. Our broadcast spreader will disappear not too long from now. So let's back this up and drop it. I still don't understand. How do we know what we have selected? All right. So we'll set this brake. Engine is off. First off, let us monitor Asta. Well, you know what? I don't think we have to. I think we could see from earlier that she's doing okay. What we could do is take a look on the map and see how far she's gone. Where is the trigger for this door? There it is. We could see how far she's gone. Oh, and something else I want to get in the habit of doing is drinking more. Not like that. Drinking more during stream so my voice doesn't go so fast. So, lovely. All right, so if we go here, and then here, field 23, grass. I'd say that's probably a quarter to a third. So got a ways to go. So now if we go here, what can we plant grass with? We can plant it with somewhere. Sigh. No, even though it's 2020 and it always feels like 5 o'clock. Even though it's 2020, I still wait till 5. Can be combined as basis with hammer grain and corn seed units. Corn seed. Grain. Oh, look at this. We can use the Corn King. The corn and or / grass king. All right. How many horsepowers is it? Oh, only 150. Okay. Not as bad as I thought. And, oh, that's interesting. These are 200. All right. Well, let's do it. So, and what about, hang on, where is the other one? Not that one. That one, right there. Usable seed type, maize. Now, does this need 3 meter, 6 meter? Ah. Okay, so I think this has 1 bar already on it. Maize only. This has 2 bars and unfolds, but also maize only. And then this is the tank. can only be used as transport tank at the moment. Well, that does me no good. Okay, so we will go with the Corn King, but I'm trying to figure out what horsepower we need. This is 238, and where's our big class? This is 380. I think, I mean, if we look at the Corn King with the bars, this is 150, and this is 200. That's 350. I think the only thing that can pull this is Biggins right here. All right, so we're going to lease this for 4 hours, as always, and we're going to have it. Let's just have it down there because we're going to need to hook up the Corn King as well. Oh, and we're going to need to go fill it at the co-op, so that'll bring us right. We'll already be on that side of the map. Okay, so we're going to rent that, and then we need this right down here. One of these. And 4 hours. Now, is this a pair, or do we need to rent 2 of these? We'll find out when we get down there. Right? And then this, 4 hours. 4, I said. Only 4. Right? And then we also want a great big weight. Even though this thing does have, it sits sort of on its own wheels. Let's do a big weight as well. Why not? All right, and we want the Biggins. All right, and we can tab. We don't do that too often, but I'm not going to run all the way down there. So we will tab. And tab again. There we are. All right, let's take a look at this thing. Yeah, what's up with the spawning? I don't understand. All right, and it looks like you get all the bars for that. So when it shows it in menu, it's already unfolded. It looked like it was just one bar going off to the side, but it's the entire assembly unfolded. So then it looks like just a single bar. Devs, if you're paying attention, could use a little help with these spawns. And we may have gone overboard with the weight. Possibly. Oh god. I don't think we really need any weight with this thing, because it does have the wheels up front, but we certainly went overboard. Would not be the first time. I have a habit of, I don't know, excess. Was there collision on them when they spawned? Did it go all crazy and like vibrate off into infinity, or did they just, you know what I'm saying? Did they just do a human centipede on you? All right, now this unit will hold, if I'm not mistaken. All right, well, that's better than to infinity and beyond. If I'm not mistaken, the Corn King will inject fertilizer. We have no need to do that on account of my unbelievable fertilizer application skill set that got all of our numbers exactly where we need them to be. So we won't put any fertilizer in here. We're just going to, I'm going to go ahead and fill it with grass seed. I want to get in the habit of doing that because we can store consumables at the farm. Anytime we're at the co-op, let's just go ahead and fill up. And excess we can drop off at the farm. Within reason. Within reason. Let me qualify that. If it's something that we can store, I'll go ahead and buy more of it. But if we got pellet fertilizer right now, I would not go crazy because both of our stalls at the barn have a fill type in them. So if we were to get another fertilizer, we would not be able to put that in the barn. But whenever possible, we'll just go we'll go buck wild. And this is nearly empty, almost out of fuel. We've got fuel at the yard. I'm curious, on a map this small, with the rate that tractors use fuel at, that they do have a fuel pump at the yard. Everything else, it seems like you have to drive for it. And even though there's a fuel station in town, rather than making you drive to it, there's a pump at the farm as well. I would think they would eliminate one of those, right? If you don't have to drive to the fuel station, it doesn't really need to be there. Or if you did want to have a fuel station, take the pump off the farm, so you have to drive and get fuel like you have to drive and get everything else. Or at the very least, give us a tanker, and we have to go down to the fuel station, buy 1,000 liters, and then bring it up and transfer it to the tank at the farm. And it could be that they intend to do that later. Oh yeah, very accommodating drivers in this town. They know me. They know what I'm all about. So we will, this hopefully will make quick work of that center field. As soon as Asta is done, yeah, like a bullet bill map. As soon as Asta is done with field 23, we're going to move her over to field 11, and I will be, well, I think I'll still be working on field 12. It's possible that, as wide as this thing is, that I will be done with field 12 before Asta is done with field 23. Not likely, but possible. But really, whoever's done first will then put them to work in the next one, whether it's me or her. Possibly we can even transfer her over to this big class and let her finish with the big drill. All right, and is this the place? Yeah, I'd like a little more, I'd like some of the buildings to be a little bit more unique. It is a bit disorienting. Hey, Jaden, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream. I'd like to see a little bit more uniquely identifiable characteristics on some of these buildings. I mean, I know the co-op is the co-op. It's got flags out in front of it, that sort of thing. But it's still, I don't know, I feel like I get lost in town. All right, so we can do this now. And I always try to do this, because we can now. We want empty tank, disc height, fertilizing system, fold out, spread rate. Hey Owen, how you doing, brother? I'm not seeing open tanks. Empty tank, stairs out, support foot, fold out. All right. For some reason, I thought you could open those lids. There may be a way to. All right, so we want, I'm just going to fill this thing with grass seed. And we want that, and we want this. Hang on. Am I in the wrong trigger? Yeah, I think this happened once before. There it is. Yep. It sees two triggers for the two implements. Does it? There it is. So we want field grass seed, 3,500 liters. Wow. We're going to have some very full pallets. And it's 2,000 per kilo, so we're at 7 grand. Oh, we are going to be broke. Did you get the big Caterpillar? Owen, did you get the 770 in the Yukon? I have to say I was a little disappointed with it. I felt so bad in the stream yesterday because I was being so negative. And I really try not to do that, but I don't know. SnowRunner is... I find it very frustrating sometimes. The 8x8, the Bandit, is that the Bandit? Yeah, I was enjoying myself initially, but in the same way that some of is it Lake Cove? Um, I don't know. It's one of the snowy Russian areas. It's not uh, it's not the swampy Russian area. It's the newest one. Some of the areas there, you've got iced up rock just above like waist deep snow. So you've got to have either mud or all-terrain tires on to get through the snow. Those are no good on the ice, and if you chain up, then you're just creeping along, absolutely creeping along in the snow. And one thing I have recognized is I try to play SnowRunner like a sim, and it's not a sim. It's a fun video game, but it's not meant to be played like a sim. But I try not to recover. I don't tow vehicles, right? Make a whole string of vehicles and just tow them. I try to play it like a sim, and I think that is my undoing. I don't think that game is meant to be played like a sim. Just a game. Just have fun with it. But yeah, I was very frustrated by the time the stream was done yesterday. And what else? Yeah, the firefighting sim. I mean, it was okay. I enjoyed myself. I had a fun evening playing it. But after you've put out like your second or third fire, it's kind of a, now what? Now what happens? Yeah, I feel like this is just my opinion, but I feel like they're tailoring the game now to the most hardcore of hardcore players, and I don't know that that's necessarily the best direction to go in. I mean, I've been playing the game since day one. I binged it when it first dropped. I really like the game. I like the way it looks. There's a few hot spots, but for the most part, it plays really smooth on ultra settings. I like the fact that there's more to do than just exploring and logging, like in Spin Tires. I really, really like the game, and I feel like I've put some hours into it. So it's not a question of get good. I just find that it's become difficult to the point of being tedious. It feels like it's maybe devolved a little bit in the past couple updates. And my suspicion is that they are tailoring the game to super hardcore players. Not always the best thing to do. Carefully. Carefully. I think we missed a turn. Moment. Let's get slowed down here. Let's just calm down. Oh no, we're okay. Why does everything look so foreign? Now we're okay. All right. I don't know if anybody has seen the previews for the new Freightliner Cascadia that's coming to ATS, but that looks absolutely amazing. And it's not even my particular favorite brand of truck. I don't hate them or anything, and I'm not down with the whole Ford versus Dodge or Chevy versus whatever. You like what you like, I like what I like. I don't think anybody's brand is inherently bad or inferior. I just prefer Peterbilt. I was really surprised by the Mack Anthem. I ended up liking that a lot more than I thought I would, and I drive it almost all the time now. And so that Cascadia is the same way. Just the way it looks. It's got a nice aerodynamic, kind of modern, sleek look to it. Really looking forward to it. I'm also curious if they will bring in a sleeper cab for the Western Star. When I first saw that, because it's only got the logging style day cab. When I first saw the Western Star, I thought that was it, but I went to the Western Star website, and no, you can get the 49X as a sleeper, long haul. So I don't know if they'll add that later. I think it's an interesting system SCS has where trucks are not DLC. They just bring them into the game for free. And you pay for the maps. And you can pay for skin packs and stuff. They have a lot of $1 and $2 DLC. But I think they have a good system. All right, so we'll set the brake. We'll go third person. Let's get this set up. So I think because our fertilizer tanks are empty, we can just turn this thing on and it will work. I don't think we need to like deactivate the fertilizer. I hope not. How wide is this thing? I'm guessing about that wide. All right, so let's rotate this a little bit. Slide it over. This is still going to take a minute to get this done. Nope. We wanted to be where we were. So what if we go... So that's 60.8. That's 59.8. What if we go 60.5? Oh, look at that. Decimals. What? Hang on. Got to reposition. Alright, so as long as we're in this row now, I think we can slide this over. Yep, and this feels very much like some of the GPS systems we have in Farm Sim. Probably because they're made by the same people. Alright, that is... I'm going to try to never go lower than 0.5 on the decimal. If I start getting into like... Oh, who knows how many decimal places there are, but I don't want to go that fussy. Alright, so we go here, we turn this on, right? And then we're going to go back here and turn this on. We want seeding system on, right? Now, I've seen sim farmers do this. There's that OCD. Let's back it up. Let's do this right. I've seen sim farmers skip rows. Is that a thing that can be done in real life? So you don't have to make 3-point turns, you just make 180-degree turns at the end of your rows? All right. What just happened? Go back here. That's good. We go here, turn on seeding system. Right. We want... Oh, what is this? There's diff locks. All right, it's 4-wheel drive. From redial, you can set to hotbar. Oh, okay. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to skip rows. Where would we find... steering console height. Honking. Parking lights. Where would we find the quick slot for... So if we close out of that and we go here, where would we find... Can we just drag it? Oh, you meant we can... Hang on, let's get rid of this. We can do the turn on, turn off. Like activate and deactivate the Corn King. We can do that in the hotbar. Is there a way to assign the steering to the hotbar? Whoa, easy camera. Because we can do that. All right. That seems to be working. Seems to be. Our volume of seed is dropping. Wow, it's dropping fairly fast too. Okay, press a button on the Wonder Wheel to move it to the hotbar. Okay, so we can put the Corn King functions on the hotbar. I need to find a way to put the guidance steering on and off the hotbar. All right. Oh, and we're, once again, on the keyboard, press F, then the number you want it on. Okay. I need to figure this stuff out. You know what I need to do is I need to stop playing like a dozen titles. I'm teaching myself to fly a 737. I'm fighting fires. I'm driving trucks, racing cars. I need to like trim this down a little bit and not focus on so many things at once. Okay, we're going to try to skip a row here. You know what? Hang on. We're going to do this right now. We're going to do this right now. I've put this off long enough. So there is that. We're going to set the brake. And if we go here now, I hope this doesn't crash the game. If we go here to controls, do we have an option to assign vehicles, vehicle, quick slot, cruise control? That one is already set up. Autopilot to next waypoint. That one is in. Here we go. So activate, deactivate. Okay, so it's numpad 0. Okay, let's leave it there for now. Numpad 0. We'll leave it there for now. Let's give it a try. So if we turn there, it keeps coming back. So we'll go numpad 0. You say numpad 0. All right. Back here, controls. Did I see that wrong? Oh no, it's not numpad 0. It's just 0. Or is it O? Oh. All right. Let's try this. Oh. Yep. It's just O. Once again, my own worst enemy. All right, here we go. So we want to be not in that row, but in this row. This row. There we go. Yep, I think that's it. And that puts it back on. Yep, that's working out. Sir Dro, how you doing? How's Wednesday treating you? And we're going to drop that. You know what? Let's drop it after we're 100% in the field. And we will do a headland afterwards. Although we'll do a German headland. It's not really a headland. It's like a top and bottom. I guess it's a little different than a UK-style roundy headland. Either way, we'll do it after we're done. So we don't need to worry about getting this thing all the way up to the edge of the field. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And we do have... It's not in the hotbar yet, but we do have a key for it. So that's going to help us out. We need to make so many turns in this field. I don't want to be either bringing up the field guidance menu every single turn or doing that thing where I fight with the steering like a complete knob. All right. It's all coming together. And I think I've got enough length before the end of here. I can drink a little. I'm curious if this helps my voice last longer. I just get so into a game, you know, I'm bad about it. It's one of the reasons I can't play loot-based games. It's because I'm always like, one more round, one more mission. I'll get the mythical pajamas of adamantine. All right, so we go there. We turn that off. Smash your finger between the log and the chipper. Oh, that sucks. Hang on, let me get sorted out here. That goes there. Cruise control on. And then we'll drop this after we're into the field. So right there. All right. Were you at work, or is that a project you were doing for yourself, for your home, or was that something that happened at work? And I think we may have just skipped 2 rows. I mean, it's not a big deal because we do have the guidance. So we can just put those rows back in. But I think we just, yeah, looking down at the mini-map, we skipped 2 rows. Okay, not a big deal. Just need to make our turn a little tighter. And I think I saw Asta over there. Yeah, there she is. You can barely see her on that little... Very nice. All right, well, did you make him buy you a pizza or a beer or something? And is your thumb still... Is it your finger or your thumb? Is it still... Can you still work? Or are you going to need to, like, take some time off? I'm not being an ass when I ask that. I'm genuinely curious. Genuinely. Yeah, a lot of curves in that word. Let's go do some seeding later. Seeding in real life or seeding in a video game? I never know these days. Could be either. All right, so we're going to go right here. And then lift. You know, a nice quality of life feature for field guidance could be alternating colors for different rows. So everything going north or east is yellow. Everything going south or west is blue. Something like that. So you can spot your alternating rows. Here we go. Oh, that sucks. On the underside? Whoa. On the underside? Or is it on the top or the bottom? Personally, I would rather have cuts on the back of my hand than on my palm or the inside of my fingers. Oh, yeah, that makes doing anything pain in the ass. Ah, that sucks. All right, at least you got a beer out of it. And you can flip them off anytime you want, right? Hey, man, just showing you my finger. All right, and you're right-handed? Ah, all right, well... That sucks. I hope it gets better quickly. I blew my shoulder up like 5 years ago doing a fitness trail in a park. I didn't even know what happened, but it's one of those things where you do 20 push-ups and then run a quarter mile and then do a bunch of squats and run a quarter mile. And I think it happened doing dips. I did a bunch of dips, and it didn't pop at the time. It didn't hurt at the time. But I woke up the next day and it was in unbelievable pain and just not, it was immobile. And I went to the doctor and they said, "Do you need it for work?" And I said, "No, I work in marketing." And they were like, "All right, well, put some ice on it. Good luck." So there was no way they were going to do a $100,000 surgery to rebuild a shoulder if I didn't need it for my job. So I just rehabbed it myself with skim milk and turkey and rest, and it's back to 100% now. And last week I was reaching up to get a cereal bowl from a cabinet, and it popped, and I thought it was going to be like that again. I thought it would be out of commission for 6 months. So I didn't work out for a few days, and I don't know if it was like a prolapsed tendon or it just slipped out of joint or something, but it's fine. It's back to 100% now. But I'm very sympathetic to anything that like takes you away from the things you want to be doing. That's just, it sucks. Whether it's big or little. That's never fun. Yeah, it's just the way health insurance is in the U.S. And again, you know what? I can't even take it any further than that. I can't say another word about it because I'll violate my own policy against talking about politics. Everything is politics now. You can't talk about anything without without it turning into politics. Can't even hold the mouse? Yeah, it's... Well, and I was asking if it was your finger or your thumb, because as bad as the finger is, the thumb is worse. If you hurt your thumb, you can't do nothing. It's amazing. Like, it's... I understand why the thumb is such a big deal, like anthropologically, biologically, why it's such a big deal that we have a thumb, because you can't do shit with 4 fingers. You really can't. And it doesn't surprise me that we are way higher up on the food chain than sharks and bears and things that it seems like they'd be able to just absolutely kick our ass. Yeah, well, not without a thumb. All right. This is going quicker than I thought. Now, we're only doing every other row, so even though we're halfway across the field, we're not halfway across the volume of the field, the area of the field. We still need to come back and fill all these in, but we're making fairly good time. I think Asta might be done before us, and if she is, we're just going to send her over to that other field. Is there a way to have a worker do half field? What's going on? We've got a hot button now, and I feel like it's not hot buttoning. Is there a way to tell a worker to do half a field? I don't think I saw that as an option. But if we could tell a worker to do half a field, then we could do the other half. I don't think there is a way to do that. But regardless, we're doing pretty good. However, I think we're going to have to go get more seed. Because we're coming up on, well, we're not quite halfway across the field. We're only doing every other row, and we're already 1/3 empty. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So we lift this. We turn this off. We turn 180 degrees. We go back on here. Okay, definitely got it that time. We drop that, like so. Here we go. All right. I'm also noticing our frame rate is really, really high on this part of the map. I don't know if it's because we're away from the farm. I mean, we're not really near... Well, yeah, I guess we are near the edge of the map. Ah, that could be it. When we're looking forward right now, the only parts of the map that are rendering are those trees right in front of us. I think everything behind that is backdrop. So it could be that the game has a lot less to render from this angle. Okay. And I'm trying to think what else is going on. Bought new trucks in ETS. We're going to do an ETS stream tomorrow. No, reverse that. We're going to do X-Plane tomorrow. I've been trying to do X-Plane all week. We're going to do X-Plane tomorrow, and then ETS on Friday. Yeah, I think I said that right. And then probably something on Saturday. I don't know what yet. And take Sunday off. Man, I'm really enjoying this. First couple years of the channel, all I did was record and post videos. And having gone to live streaming, I have to say I enjoy it a lot more. Like that. Off. And we're going to carefully turn like that. Did I miss a row again? Yep, I think I did. But, again, not a big deal. Is that on or off? That's off. That's on. Okay. Yep, I think I missed a row. You know, it seems easy, right? Like, all you got to do is turn around. And there's even a little line in front of you to tell you where to turn, but I seem to be struggling with that. we're continuing to monitor Asta. I don't know if we get any type of indication that she's done. I mean, I guess we could go here. Oh yeah, she's not done yet. She's still doing lengths. Plenty of time. But we will definitely have to refill. We may get all of these first rows done, these first lengths, and then we'll go and refill, come back and do the rest. And we are going to have to go all the way to, we're down to 11 grand. 11 grand. What I was thinking is we could, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, because we need to figure this stuff out anyway. Let's do that. Let's hire a worker. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it, because we need to hire a worker, and then I'm going to forget to fire them when they're done, and then we're going to end up paying another 12,000 euro per year in payroll for somebody who's not doing anything. Yep, we'll just go down and refill it manually. All right, got that one. So turn this back on. There we go, and there we go. So I think this will work out. I don't know how much money we're going to get from this. I think there is there a calculator at the BGA? I don't know. I feel like there was a calculator somewhere to give you some indication of how much money you could make from a given field, right? But man, I would really like to see, and there could be one, and I'm just not seeing it, but I would really like to see some type of a diary, right, where we could, so that's the bank. Yep, don't have a loan right now. That's workers. This is us. I'd really like to see some kind of a diary where we could write down, like this field that we're in right now, field 12, 100% fertilizer or correct fertilizer, and then what we got out of it for grass by volume. Just to have an indication, right, that if we needed to make a decision next spring about what we plant in this field, well, we know we can get this for grass, we can get this for wheat, that sort of thing. And I wouldn't say that we're guessing, but I feel like we're not, at the moment, we're really not making choices from experience because we don't have any yet. Kind of new to the game. All right. Go here, and I'm going to look on this side. Yep, this side, because it's further. There we go. Are we drifting again? Yeah, I feel like I'm hitting the button twice or something. It feels like it keeps taking us off without putting us back on. Or I'm taking us off and then it's not getting put back on. And it looked like, so when we put Asta on that task, the Zircon and the Sapphire were immediately hooked up to the MB track, right? She didn't need to back up into the barn to get them or anything. And also the tank was full. So I don't know if when she runs out of seed, she's going to go down to the store and buy some and refill it manually, or if it's just going to farm simulator style, it's just going to appear in there, right? And then take it out of our bank balance. Unknown. And that is, we're under 50% now. For what we've got in the tank. Okay. I mean, this is definitely faster. I think we're moving faster, and we've also got twice the width. So come off there, and then flip the 180 to right there, carefully. that, and like that. Okay. I forgot to put fuel in this thing as well, but we haven't really, our fuel level hasn't dropped. We'll go through the yard on the way to the co-op to get seeds. So I have to remember to add fuel. And I'm not going to fill it. I know it's only a few €100, and I don't want to be that, that meticulous about it. But also, there's no reason to throw away money, right? There's no reason to throw away a few €100 when we're getting down to the sort of the very bottom of our bank account. We'll hang on to that. And I guess we'll just go till we're empty. And it wouldn't make sense to refill before. I was thinking we could do all these rows, then go refill, but there's no point doing it twice. This is really using a lot of seed. And I think Asta, trying to remember offhand what the volume of the sapphire is, like what it holds as far as seed. But I think it's probably about half of this. Now it is half the width, but it's still going to be the same amount of seed per hectare. So I'm curious if Asta has to refill once or twice. All right, so a little tree to go around here. 2 little trees, really. So we'll slow down there. Lift that. Past that. And so, right, there we go. And then right there. Beautiful. And I think, yeah, I think we're going to run out just about the time we get to the end of our rows. So that'll be, yeah, half the field, 1 full tank. That's a big field. Those first few that we sort of experimented with last season in-game, they were by comparison tiny. I think this is one of the biggest fields on the map. So we will hopefully have plenty of silage. Right here, yep. That, and drop right there. Beautiful. And where's Asta? Still doing lengths. Interesting. Another reason I got the little claws is we can put a front loader on it. We've got a telehandler mod, but there's no reason to, I mean, we'd have to lease it because there's no way we're going to buy one this early in the game. And the only thing you can do with it is telehandler stuff versus a front loader on a tractor. You get all the other functionality of a tractor. And as we get into silage, we're going to need a worker, Asta most likely, to go down to the BGA once a day and fill the hopper, which I think is good. I want to say that's good for a couple thousand per day, a couple €1,000 per day. Clear it, just barely. Perfect. That's good for a couple thousand per day, but I don't want to have to lease a tractor, lease a front loader every day to do it. So we need to own it for that reason. And we do still, and we're not even into a loan yet. And we've got crops to sell, we've got crops in the barn we can sell, and really we could even sell that tractor if we had to. Or possibly sell the MB tractor. Now I haven't seen whether there is mileage on the tractors and they depreciate in price. Mileage or hours, however you want to calculate it. And I also haven't seen whether you need to maintain the tractors. The fact that I can't say off the top of my head if I've seen either one of those things make me think maybe it's not in game. So we'll see whether it's ever added, or it could be that it's in the game now and I just haven't spotted it yet. But I think maintenance would be an interesting factor to bring in, and also depreciation on the vehicles, because we could sell both of these. We've really barely used either of them, so we could sell both of these. Well, the MB track and the little class, we could sell both of them nearly for what we paid for them and get some money back there and then just keep leasing. But if we were to drive them for 2 or 3 years, I don't know what we could get out of them. All right, put that, come off there. Right, good there. And we drop. And Asta is going really slow with that thing. It seemed like earlier she was making better time, but it's kind of creeping along now. All right, so it goes. And if we have to do, so we're in field 12. Asta is in field 23. If we have to do field 11 ourselves, I think, because we still essentially need to do this field again. We've only done half of it now. We've done every other row. So we're going to need to do this field again. I think that will be enough time. Yeah, that could actually work out, because it took Asta, as long as it's taken us to do half this field, and we did have to go down and fill up, but we have to go fill up again. As long as it's taken us to do what we've done so far, it's taken Asta to do nearly that entire field. So it's possible that while we're finishing this one and doing the second set of lengths, that she'll be able to do field 11, right? And everything will be done at the same time. We're going to be in this row right here. Right. Back on guidance steering. That's a lot better. Having it on a key is a lot better than doing it via the menu. Drop that. And that was also a good tip. I don't even remember who told me, but that was a good tip to keep the mini-map selected with whatever it is that you're doing, so you can confirm that whatever it is that you're trying to do is actually happening. So in this case, we're seeding, and when we look at the mini-map, we can see down there that we are in fact seeding. So if, I don't know, if something weird happened, if we ran out of seed or something in the drill, we'd be able to see straight away that it was no longer doing what it was supposed to do. Or like in field, hey Liam, how you doing? if we were to, like we did in field 11, where we doubled up on potassium, we'd be able to see straight away that the color that it was, the color behind the tractor was off. We'd be able to know that something was wrong before we had done the entire row. So, yep. All right. I think we've got. I don't know if we want to do. We've got like a half row now, but this thing doesn't have a half row cutoff. Let's save that one. Let's save that one for when we come back to do our headlands. All right, so we're going to put that away. This thing is, we're going to turn it off now. Turn seating system off, okay? And then we're gonna fold it up. Beautiful. Get rid of that, and let's drive back around to the road, which we can do this way. That's funny that I've been driving through bushes all afternoon, and now suddenly I'm a stickler. I wouldn't want to drive through a bush. All right. Liam, were you here earlier for the calculations? Did you see how it all played out? Oh, I have to show you. I'm very proud of the way everything worked out. So if we go here, set brake. Oh, it's so exciting. All right. So we will go to field 23. Look at this. We wanted 215. We got 207. We wanted 97. We got 98. We wanted 292, and we got 290. I have seen the light. It's all making sense. But in fairness, I also figured out via field 11 that making a single pass only alters the average for the entire field. So when we put in our potassium, I made one pass and the numbers weren't where they were supposed to be. So I turned around and made another pass the other way, and then it dawned on me, right? It's like I was pouring lava on my field. I'm smart. I'm real smart. So it's all starting to make sense. Now I think if we get these crops in early enough that we'll be able to grow them a little bit, get more fertilizer on them, and possibly even do some mowing today. Oh, thanks, man. I'm proud of me too. Eventually, if I smack my head up against the same problem over and over enough times, eventually it'll start to click. Speaking of, here's one of our tartan fields. Let's not talk about that. Just pretend it never happened. Avert your eyes. Look over here. You can see anything. And I don't know the map that well. I know we're trending in the general direction of the co-op, but I don't know if the way that we're getting there is the most efficient. There's the BGA. Oh, you know what I could do? I could use the map. Haha. Alright, so we'll make a left here and then a right. Alright. I'd like to do some mowing today. I've got a dope mower mod. Because in base game you only get like the single. It's not a trailed mower. What would you call that? It's a mower on the back, and it only goes out to one side. But I found a set of butterflies with like, I don't know, 8 meters of spread or something. So those on the back and a little one on the front, I think we'd be able to go through those fields fairly quickly. Oh, frame rate. What's happening right now? All right, so we want to go third exit. Right over here. That sign went by very quickly, and it was in German, but I'm pretty sure it said this way. Yeah, we're good. Are we? Are we good? Hang on, I'm going to need to look at that again one more time. Whoa, carefully. Let's just go straight and all the way around, yep. Frame rate seems to be consistently lower when you have a workering, and that would be, well, I don't know. I mean, looking at my monitor right now, CPU is at 20%, GPU is at 50%, and we're at 27 FPS. And that would tell me, you know, I'm trying to be more positive lately. Trying to always be on that positive tip, but that would tell me this game needs a lot of optimizing. If it's really not utilizing resources that are available to it, and its performance is a little, you know, sluggish, I would say that's stuff they could hopefully tune up later. And I mean, we're at 90 minutes right now. I didn't think we were just going to be seeding today, but it's possible that's all we'll get done today. I forgot to get fuel again. You know what? Let's do this. There's a fuel stop right there, more or less, like right in front of us. Let's just go ahead and go there now before I forget again, because I was thinking, all right, we'll get seed now, and then I'll remind myself to go through the yard and get fuel on the way back to the field. But I've already forgotten it like, what, 7 times, 8 times? So let's go ahead and do this now before I forget again. And where is it? There it is. You know, I haven't even seen this map. No, I take that back. I've seen it at night one time. The day I downloaded the game, I did drive around at night with all the lights on, just to test. Go this way. Just to sort of test and see how it was. And it seemed to be okay, but I haven't seen the game at night since then. And I only drove around the farm. I haven't driven through the village. But I'm curious what this fuel station will look like at night. So, let's just do 600 liters and be done with it. I don't think, no, we don't need 600 liters. Let's go half tank. 300 liters, perfect. Very carefully pull away from here. And back to the co-op. We going the right way? Yeah, it does all look a bit the same. I don't think that's by design. It may be. I mean, it could be that a little village like this in Germany would have very, I don't know, very thematic architecture. Is that a good way to say it? All right, so last time we learned you can be in one trigger. You just need to select what implement you want to fill. There we go. There it is. All right. So we want seed unit. We want grass seed. And let's just fill it again. Yeah, let's just fill it. I mean, I don't want to say we're so broke it doesn't matter, but we're sort of committed now. I think we may even need to... no, we shouldn't have to, because we do have that barley we can sell for 10 grand. So hopefully we can... that we have enough money to start getting grass down to the BGA. And once we get it down there... I mean, we already own that, right? It's not like FS19 where we have to buy it. I think we already own it. So as long as we can just get it down there and put a cover on it, then all we need to do is pay Asta for a few months till it's fermented. And then we can bust out the cover and start selling it. I'm curious how active the economy is. Does selling a certain crop or a certain commodity lower the price drastically? Does it lower the price at all? Is that something we want to be aware of, right? That we don't sort of saturate the market, as they say. Yeah, I mean, let's... Oh, careful, bunny. Let's see how Asta's doing. You know what? We got to go here, and then here, and then here. There we go. She's on headlands. Okay, so she's almost done. Let's see if that frame rate picks up when she's done. Because it's pretty... I mean, it's solid in the high 20s, low 30s. It's not dipping really high. No, reverse that. It's not dipping really low, but it's also not coming back at all. Let's see if that picks up when she's done. Which wouldn't make sense, really, because, like I said, our system is not being taxed at all at the moment. It's just really low frame rate compared to other times when I've been in the sim. All right. Where's our turn? Here. Yeah, here, and then... here. Maybe. Yep, that looks like one of our messed up fields right in front of us right there. So we'll take this next left. Yep. All right, it's all starting to become a little bit more familiar. A little bit. want to go right down here. All right, that went okay. Beautiful. So brake is on. We open this up, turn this on, confirm that that is open, and it is. Then we turn it on, turn the seed unit on, right? Brake is off, go on, guided steering, cruise control, and then drop. Is it working? It is working. Super. All right. And how's Asta doing? Still working on a headland. Okay. So she's going to go back to the farm. And I think it would be safe to start her on field, whatever this one is to the left of us. This is field 11. Yeah, we'll start her on field 11 when she's done. And we still have 10 grand. Okay. And I don't think, yeah, because we have this, the rig that we're in right now, we rented it for 4 hours. And I don't think it's going to run out while we're working with it. I'm curious what happens when the rent runs out when you are working with it. Does it re-rent it? Or does it just disappear out from underneath you? Neither would surprise me. All right. We want to, yeah, we need to fix those. So we lift that right there. Turn that off. And then right back here. Wait a minute. Not right back there. What? This one. All right. Just looking to see if we got any kind of icon for guidance steering. There's no indication or icon or anything in the control panel or instruments. Drop that. And we're good. It seems like we've got a little bit of overlap between rows. Let's go third person. I don't know how tight rows are in real life. Lengths, I don't know how tight they are one to the next, but it looks like that's overlapping. Well, if it's not overlapping, it is absolutely like butting right up against it very accurately. All right, I like accurate. So I think what we'll do, yeah, I'll start Asta on field 11. I'll work this one till we're done, and then we'll go ahead and call it, because I don't think we're going to be able to grow the grass, get more fertilizer on it, and then mow any of it today. So let's just focus on getting it in the ground, and then next episode we will fertilize it, grow it up, and then mow it. All right, let's come off that. Right there. Yeah, this is working really, really well. And it is a lot of the systems in cattle and crops, I have to say, they're pretty comprehensive, pretty complex, but they're not unmanageable. Even the fertilizer. I'm not great with math, and it was a little bit. I mean, I had to make a few mistakes, but then it clicked. And in hindsight, it's really not that complicated. It's just something you need to be very aware of and sort of methodical with. But as complex as the game is, it's also like the field guidance and some of the other things, assigning workers. Brendan, what is happening? Welcome to the stream. As far as the various things that you need to do, it is complicated, and there's quite a bit going on, but it's not unmanageable. It's just something you really need to concentrate on. Oh, it's going really, really good, Brendan. How's Wednesday treating you? Come off there. And then this one, yep. Now, I thought at some point I had missed another row, but these all seem to be where they're supposed to be. So maybe it was just that one we had to double up on. But all these other ones look like we got them all where they're supposed to be. And yep, looks like Asta's driving back to the farm. So when we get to the end of this row, let's pause for a minute and get her started on field 11. Man, this better not be like Farming Simulator. When we bring this grass in, if we end up making like hundreds of thousands of euro, I will be very disappointed. That was always one of my, I don't know how to describe it. It's something that I didn't like about cattle and crops, even cattle and crops. Something I didn't like about Farming Simulator. Yeah, reverse that. Something I didn't like about Farming Simulator, even with seasons. If you could just get grass fields, if you could just get some corn in the ground, you could make yourself wealthy fairly quickly. And silage was something that you had access to from early in the game. It's not like you had to work up to it, right? You didn't have to suffer and just kind of barely creep by selling eggs, and then all of a sudden you had access to it, and now you could do things to make a lot of money. You could do that from your first crop. You could grow silage. And so it would be very disappointing, as complex and challenging as this game is, if we made a lot of money from this silage. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, like why wouldn't you want to make a lot of money? And it's not that I don't want to make money, I just don't want to make it too easily or too quickly. Okay, Asta is back at the farm. So what did we just do? I think I hit the wrong button. What did we just do? Everything okay? What is happening? I think everything's alright. I hit the wrong button. I hit B when we were in the map menu. Is everything still intact here? Alright. I'm nervous. So we go back in here. We get this going. We go back to... is it this one? This one? 8-7, yep. So we want to copy that. Instead of field 23, we want field 11. Everything else is going to be the same. Field grass seed, everything else is going to be the same immediately. Is that right? And so if we be out of this, yep, there she is on the move. Okay, cool. And we're going to get turned around here and get started in this next row and just confirm that everything is where it's supposed to be. What I did was I pressed B to get out of the map, and you open and close the map with the same button. So when I pressed B, it dropped an implement. Let's just confirm. Seeding system is on. Hey, Jaden. That's on. I think we're good. All right. Like so. Drop. And it looks like, yep, grass is going in. Beautiful. And then we'll see where's Asta? When we get to the end of this row, we're going to need to take a look. I don't see her moving anywhere on the map. So she may be bound up somewhere. Okay. I'm a little bit concerned right now. Let's focus on one thing at a time. We'll get to the end of this row, and then we're going to take a look and see how our worker's doing. And it looked like... Yep, farming today. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Liam. Is that, I mean, you get what I'm saying about making too much money too fast. I mean, I don't like suffering, but if you get to end game too quickly, right? What's the point? All right, I'm gonna tab here briefly just to see. Yeah. Here's your problem. Here's your problem. Now what do we do about this? So if we open this menu and then come here, tasks, we want in progress. Show. Can we stop her? What do we do? What's the method? How do we take her off her task? How do we cancel this task? Yep. Asta staff. I mean, we could just fire her right now and she would go away. I'd like to find another way to get this sorted out. Is there anything we can do to stop her right now? Tab in and drive? Okay. Well, I did tab in. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was just moving the steering back and forth. Oh, okay. That's her driving now. Easy, Asta. Okay, that was easy. That was easy. All right. So then we'll tab back into this thing right here. Confirm that that is still on. That is still on. Okay. Turn that off. Turn around here. Thanks, Liam. Appreciate the tip. For the most part, the AI does not do that. It does happen, but not very often. So every now and then, not a big deal. And if it's that easy to fix, if it's that quick to fix, not a problem at all. All right, and yep, she's down there. Now we did, it's getting to be, I wouldn't say critical yet, because we do have that barley to sell. But our bank balance did just drop by another, like, couple thousand euro, I think, when Asta bought her seed. So we'll need to be more mindful of money. I imagine we're going to maybe sell the MB track. And really, oh, you know what? If we plan on doing grass for a couple years, if we plan on doing grass for a couple years and animals, we could really sell the MB track, the Zircon, the Sapphire, the Rebel, right? The Cultivator and the Plow. Because if you think about it, we won't need any of those things momentarily if we're just going to be grass farmers. Okay. That's a way to think about it. Now, in hindsight, then, we didn't need to buy those at all in the first place. But I didn't know we were going to be doing grass. I really thought we'd be doing more arable crops. But yeah, we can get rid of all that stuff and the MB track and probably make like 100, 150,000. Well, not make, but recover like 150 grand. Okay. That'll put us back in a better place. Okay. We'll do that if we have to. I don't like buying and selling and rebuying equipment, so we'll keep it if we can. But if we can't, if we really need money, we can just unload some of that stuff. Yeah. Yep. In hindsight, that would have been the way to do it. And I think, well, in real life, I guess it's different for every farm, but I thought it was the smaller equipment is the stuff that you own and the larger equipment is the stuff you lease. Yep, there she goes. Now, where she's starting that field down in the corner, there's going to be a lot of turns down there. So even though that's a smaller field, it may take her a minute to get that done. I don't know what the logic is for lengths, but if it's anything like course play, I know there seems to be some effort put into calculating the most efficient way to go about working a field as far as what the longest lengths would be. Yeah, I think they're going to. I think that is the purpose of the contractor yard, and I think that may also open up the opportunity for us to take contract jobs for other farmers, which I think would be a great way to make money. I mean, in the same way that I'm no fan of silage on Farm Sim, like in Farming Simulator 19, I ended up doing like the biggest contract jobs that I could find, and they were paying like $85,000 a piece. Right? You do 10 of those, and you're sitting on $1 million. And then again, it gets to that point where you can buy any piece of equipment, you can buy any field, and you've done it fairly quickly and without really risking anything. And just by doing jobs for other farmers. So if they do bring that in both directions, if they have the contractor yard and we can hire contractors to do things, but then we can also present ourselves as a contractor to do jobs for other farms, as long as it's balanced, I think that would bring a lot to the game. That you could make some money without risk, but not that much. We're going to have so much grass when these fields are done. If we were to try to make hay with these fields, I would really need to learn weather forecasting before we try to make hay, because it would take quite a while to get all this hay turned or all this grass turned while we were making hay, and to do all that between rains. And get it all baled, of course. All right, so we want to go here. Go. Yeah, we are just draining through grass seeds for this field. We're going to go through probably 6,000 liters of grass seed. I will need to figure out what to do about those other 4 fields. I'd like to buy those again. I like the idea of owning all the fields around the farm, but at the moment I just don't think we could grow anything in them. Nothing that would be of any benefit to us. So let's see what happens as those fields sit for 2 or 3 seasons. If the fertilizer balance in the soil adjusts itself, or if it stays exactly where it is right now until we put a crop in. What I would think we could do is at some point buy those fields back and just put grass in them, and then gradually work to get everything sort of stabilized or brought back to a good place. All right. There we go. Yeah, she's going to be working for a minute. So when I'm done, if I save game, when we come back, will Asta continue working where she was working? Or will that task reset? I don't know. You know, we've got a plow, so what? We don't own the fields. I don't think, from what I remember, I don't think plowing alters the chemistry at all. But we can certainly take a look. I don't know the game well enough to say for sure one way or another. Yeah. And I figure it's also the least risk, right? Because if something goes wrong with it, you're losing grass rather than potentially a good cash crop, arable crop. I don't know. I suppose it's all the same. You know, you're going to put the effort into getting it into the field. Grass just feels more expendable. Maybe? Is that the right word? All right. Get that there. Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of things that I'm going to learn about this game, I'm going to learn by trial and error. And I'm okay with that. It's a fun game to sort of make mistakes in. And even what happened with the sprayer width, or what happened on field 11, you know, putting the double layer of K60 on it. It's the kind of thing that afterwards, I wasn't upset about it. It was just kind of oh, okay, now I understand. It didn't feel, I don't know. You know, sometimes things happen in a video game and you feel like you've been duped by the devs, right? You feel like they're having a laugh. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's just kind of a complicated game. And I think the best way to figure it out is just to play it. And that's going to involve me making some mistakes. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to try. I mean, I want to figure out a way that on these big fields, I want to figure out a way that I can do half of it and a worker can do half of it. I don't think that's possible, but, you know, let's test it out. Give it a try. I don't know if a worker, if we were to go, say, plant grass seed in half of field 11, and then we told Asta to plant grass seed in field 11, Would she plant the entire thing, or only the half that we didn't put seed in? Unknown. All right. I'm going to go all the way out here. Possibly too far. No, we're okay. Are we? There we are. So right there. And then drop that. I'm also very curious what's going to happen when the Western Shore V2 drops for FS17. I'm going to be so fat-fingered after having played Farming Simulator franchise for years. When I hop back in it, I'm going to be so fat-fingered. I'm going to be dropping implements in every field and accidentally activating AI and just making every possible mistake. Muscle memory is fascinating. How quickly it forms and how long it takes to go away, but how quickly it can be overwritten. It's amazing stuff. The human brain, man. It's something. All right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a few lengths left here. And then we can just park this on the farm. It will disappear after 4 hours. I have not found a way to get rid of things on lease before your lease is up. So if we wanted to get rid of this after 3 hours, I don't know how to do that, or if there is a way to do it, or if it doesn't matter. I mean, I kind of like the idea of having to take something back to a specific place to return it. But if you can have it delivered to the farm, then it would make sense that in video game logic, somebody could come to the farm to pick it up. So not a big deal either way. I'm just curious if there's a way we can get rid of it sooner if we don't need it. And what else? Yeah, next episode we'll just grow this grass up, keep it fertilized, try to keep it balanced, as well as we got it balanced for this planting, drilling, seeding. What do you do with grass? You seed it, right? You don't drill it. As well as we got the soil balanced for this part of it, let's try to keep it balanced, get it all the way, I don't know, tall and fat and happy, and maybe do a little mowing as well. And we will, yeah, I don't think we need to mess with a forager. I think we can just do it with a loading wagon. Save us some money on rental. Alright, so there's that. And same thing, let's go all the way out and around. Can we fit through here? Liam says I'm using the modded New Holland. Yeah, I saw that. Super affordable. Is that a good mod? Does it work well? I haven't even tried it yet. I'm amazed how few mods there are for this game. I would think that this would be like an absolute modder's paradise for farm sim nerds and the people that are into modding. I'm really surprised how few there are. Okay, cool. And it does work okay with the AI. I didn't know if the tractors, I didn't know if the AI was more in the game code or if there was a portion of it that was in the mod itself. That mods had to be coded differently or scripted differently to be able to accommodate workers and everything happens the way it's supposed to. I think maps are going to be a pain in the ass to make the way that the workers, for lack of a better word, they know things on the map. So if you tell a worker, go to the co-op and get seed, you don't have to tell them where the co-op is. You don't have to tell them what the seed is. You just tell them, go to the co-op, and they know what the co-op is. So I'm thinking there are traffic splines and various things laid in so that the worker can get from wherever they are to wherever you tell them to go. And anybody who made a map would have to include that code, those splines or whatever it is, if they wanted the workers to be able to do the same thing on a mod map as they do on a base game map. And that seems like quite an undertaking. On top of the fact that everything needs to be built in C4 and Tombstone. So we'll see. I would love to see more mods for this game. I think, as with the Farming Simulator franchise, I mean, it's not a secret that without mods, Farming Simulator would not be what it is. And honestly, same with Truck Sims, ATS and ETS. Now, Truck Sim, I would say, has enough, it's got enough momentum at this point that I don't think they need mods the way they used to, but there are a lot of games that they really would not have survived long enough to have an audience were it not for mods. I think this game could be in that category. So if they can't get the mod support going in a way that gives people reasons to fire up this game when they feel like they may have already played it out, I don't know. Maybe it's because we're so used to having mods in our farm sim that for anybody who makes a farm sim, we're going to have that same expectation. But I mean, realistically, we've got one map, pretty limited equipment. Mods would definitely help this game. So hopefully that is something that comes online not too very long from now. Although at the moment, I mean, I am still learning the game. As many hours as I have into it, I am not even close to being bored. I haven't played this game out. Not at all. There's a lot to learn. Definitely a lot to learn. All right, so we've got just about 1,000 liters left, and I think we're going about 150 liters per length, and we've got to come across the top, which is pretty wide, down this side, and then down across the bottom. So I think we have enough. I think we have enough to, yeah, finish up. I hope we do. Because if not, we're going to have to go back to the co-op and get like 10 liters of grass seed. I hope we don't have to do that. Really hope we don't. Okay. So when we get to the end here, we're going to lift this thing. Yeah, let's just do it that way. We'll lift this thing. We'll get rid of field guidance. Right about there. Set the brake. Field guidance there. Get rid of this. Right? Brake is off. Let's drive down to the end here. Now this I may do... No, you know what? We won't. Let's go first person for this and just keep an eye on the edges of our header and get in the habit of doing this manually. Alright, and here's a question for real farmers. If you go over the same area twice with a seeder, what happens? Are there just a lot of seeds in there? Is it like all messed up? What is the effect on a field if you drive over the same area, if you seed the same area twice? You know what? I'm not feeling good about that. Let's... Oh, and we're a little bit... jackknifed as well. So let's go further out. Further out this way. And then take a big swing at it. Mo better. Liking that. Not perfect. Not perfect, but hopefully it'll be good enough. Alright, so that's that one. And this one on the end here, I think this is less than... Is it? I don't know now. Over here a little bit. Is this 2 lengths or just 1? Can't even remember. It's 2. Okay. So we got a little, little messy bit right there. I guess I'll clean that up off camera. Going to be pretty close on seed. I think we'll have just a little bit left in the tank, maybe a couple 100 liters. But that's still not bad for 2 tanks over 2 hours, 2+ hours. I mean, I didn't calculate that or anything. I just filled it both times. But if we end up not having to refill a 3rd time, I will take it. So the half row on the end here, I mean, we could do that. It looks like it's about 3 meters. We could do that with the sapphire, but I think I'm just gonna, you know what I mean, kind of fudge over the top of it, call it good. So we'll get down to the end here. I'm also curious if grass sort of spreads in cattle and crops, as I assume it does in real life, right? Like if you plant grass in a field and there's a little gap between the edge of your field and where you planted, is that going to fill in with grass over the course of the year? Right? Because grass grows everywhere. Grows up through the cracks in your driveway. So would it spread and sort of grow on its own, or does it only grow where it's planted? All right, and I think we'll go out here, out and around this tree. Carefully. Right about here. So I think we're going to have some little gaps when we're done. Hopefully not too many. Yep, a few little places that we missed. But I don't know how to get those places without just driving back and forth over the field, right? Like I'm icing a cake, right? Like I'm painting a field to just drive back and forth over till we get every square meter of it. That doesn't seem very realistic. Even this, like we're technically seeding the same area twice. I don't think you can do this in real life. And I know there is, half row shutoff and GPS guidance and various things, so maybe you're driving over a field that you've already seeded, but you're not actually seeding it because your drill is, only half of its rows are active or a third of its rows or whatever. I know there's ways to do that in real life, but I feel like that's not modeled into the game, so what we're doing right now feels kind of hokey. But, you know what? It's just pixels. Nothing to get upset about. Alright. And after all that, we're going to have, about 550 liters of seed left in here. So, come right to the edge of the field, like so. Lift that, turn it off, fold it. And I'm going to head back to the yard. We'll drop off the seed that we have in here, just to confirm that process. That's something we haven't done yet. We did it in the tutorials, but we haven't done it in career mode. So let's go ahead and drop these seeds off back onto pallets. Then we'll take a look at Asta, and then we'll call it. And I will let Asta finish. Next episode, we will be fertilizing this grass. We'll let it grow a little bit. We'll fertilize it. And hopefully we'll get to... No, not hopefully. Definitely we'll get to mowing it. Because we can fertilize with the 42 meter width. That goes fairly quickly. And then sleep for 10 or 20 days or whatever. Alright. Yep, this game is growing on me. Every time I play it, I think I like it a little bit more. And our pallets are right up here, I think. And I think we just drive into this trigger. Maybe. There it is. Took a while to get to it. So it's the tank itself rather than the tractor. Okay. Now, this is... I haven't seen this. So we have... interesting. We can store 5 different kinds of seed here. All right. Let's just put it in number 1. Yeah, this is a nice system that consumables can be preserved and traded around. But I think it's required because there's not one generic seed, and then you decide in menu what it is you're going to be planting. If you want to plant grass, you've got to buy grass seed. So, all right. So we'll get this stopped. Set the brake. Hop back in here. I'm going to leave the engine running because this thing has been working hard. And we want to let it cool down properly. Go back here. Close the door. Close the door, I said. Close the door handle. There it is. Close the door, and let's go see how Asta's doing. And we'll call it. I don't have a run button configured, man. We are really strolling right now. Taking our time. And we'll have to see, and when this grass does grow, because we've got that one length, 42 meters wide, with the really high levels of potassium, we'll have to see what that does to our yield on grass. I think we're going to get so much. Hey, thanks, William. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. I don't think, the volume of grass that we're going to get, I don't think one row with one level of fertilizer, right? Like with one chemistry out of whack, hopefully that won't really cut into our yield. But I'm curious to see what the drop is, right? I know, I think it might have been Liam that said chemistry's got to be spot on. And if it is high or low in either direction, the yield will drop off pretty precipitously. But we'll find out. Yeah, I need a run button. Although, I have to say, if you've been working all day planting grass, you probably want a casual stroll, right? You don't want to necessarily be running the minute you hop out of your tractor. Oh, it's so nice being able to put workers on and have them do complex tasks. And I'm curious, well, yeah, I guess you can, because you can tell the workers that you want them to do things at different times. So you could say, worker A, I want you to seed this field in the morning. I want you to cultivate this field in the afternoon. And they would do one first and then the other. So yeah, you can stack tasks. Very cool. All right, there's Asta, hard at work. Thanks, everybody. We're going to do X-Plane tomorrow. I know I've been sort of promising X-Plane. Wow, that is a filthy tractor. I know I've been promising X-Plane. We're going to do X-Plane tomorrow. Zurich to Paris. And then we'll do ATS, most likely, on Friday. There you go. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for checking out the stream. I do appreciate you. You're an awesome audience. See you later.